Plus, I'm joined by eNCA West Africa Bureau Chief Kwangu Liwewe. Good evening to you, Kwangu. Are authorities certain tonight that this was indeed the work of Boko Haram?
Good evening, Iman. Yes, authorities do think it was Boko Haram, although they haven't come out to categorically say that it was them who was responsible for these attacks. Now, the problem with the north is it's under a state of emergency. Communications have been cut. So it's very difficult for us to communicate with people who are on the ground. But we are told that they did attack mosques and the villages nearby, killing a total of 60 people.
44 worshippers, by last count, killed in a mosque by Muslim extremists Boko Haram. There was a subsequent attack in a neighboring village. Is this the first of its kind on Muslims, or has this been happening sporadically?
It has been happening. I mean, it's been happening since 2009, but not on the scale of which churches are attacked. In this instant, a lot of people think it's done because once the state of emergency was introduced, a lot of the youth formed vigilante groups in the north of the country, and obviously they're Muslims. They have been attacking suspected Boko Haram Islamists. And when it comes to the ordinary people on the streets, they've been feeding the joint task force with information, leading to a number of arrests of Boko Haram members. And that is why the general public, those in the villages, were targeted as well.
You mentioned at the beginning a state of emergency. We understand a state of emergency now for 3 months in the northeast, but still these insurgents are managing to get through. How are they able to outsmart the authorities, Kwangu? Is the area quite sparse? Is it easy for them to camouflage their presence? Just talk us through exactly what it's like on the ground.
Yes, definitely. It's a very vast area, and also it's surrounded with porous borders with countries such as Cameroon and Niger. So it's very easy for these suspected Boko Haram members to slip in and out of the country as well. And they also managed to just penetrate within the local communities. So it's difficult for the Joint Task Force or police or army to specifically know who Boko Haram members are. And that's why they've been appealing to the general public, and the general public has been giving them this information. And then Boko Haram turned against the public.
This is the final question. Kwangu, talk to us about Boko Haram's broader agenda. What do they want? Why are they doing this?
Well, they say Boko Haram basically means they're against Western education, and they say they want Sharia law introduced throughout the country. Initially, they said they wanted it in the northern part of the country. They've now said they want it to spread throughout the country. They've sent various messages to President Goodluck Jonathan that he should also turn to Islam, and that they don't believe in the constitution of the country because that is not part of their religious following. So basically, they're against Western education and anything that is not Islamic.
I know I said final question, but we'll just end with this one, Kwangu. What's been the reaction of residents in that town where these attacks took place? Are they, have they decided to retreat, from these vigilante groups, or has it really created more of a will to work together to oust Boko Haram from the area?
Well, since May, when the state of emergency was put into place by the president, it was put into place in 3 states, Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. We saw a lot of people leave the states. Some of them even went into exile in the neighboring Cameroonian capital. But the recent incidents has been very difficult for us to speak to people on the ground because all communications are cut down. Very difficult for us even to verify all sorts of things we're hearing coming out of the north of the country. For instance, this afternoon alone, we had to get in touch with people in Abuja at the Ministry of Defense and other people in the Joint Task Force just to confirm, for instance, the number of people killed. So communication to that part of the country is very difficult for journalists and aid agencies.
All right, we'll leave it there. eNCA West Africa Bureau Chief Kwangu Liwewe.
News that moves. eNCA.com.